dear Lord. But I mean, St. Patty's Day is coming up, so.
Yeah, we got parades coming this weekend. We got the Meadow Road Parade.
Oh, big parade.
Yeah, I marched to that one. I did that one. My dad was a grand marshal of our marching club, and
Are you like clocking people with cabbages?
no, it's a marching club. So we walked with the flowers and danced with the girls, right?
That big.
You know, I was like 13 pulling girls' numbers. It was fun.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I imagine it was. Is your wife watching this? I'm not even sure.
She knows all this.
Oh, Lord. Does she know you're an addict?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
An addict. I am for sure an addict.
You are an addict.
I am an
right?
addict.
What's your drug of choice, Mertz?
Intensity.
Ooh.
Intensity.
Intensity.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm Coach Tanya.
And I'm Coach Mertz.
This is Affiliate Soapbox. Today we are talking about Mertz's addiction, which is intensity.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So would you say your addiction is equivalent to CrossFit?
Yeah, right there. That final one right there, right? That final one.
So
yeah, so once I think to kind of pull a story into that one, right? So not doing CrossFit on my own, and then once going into a class and seeing what CrossFit really was and how it's properly coached, and then and my intensity measure from before that to after that shot up, and just being around the community, around people, and really kind of trying to prove myself to be an athlete. And intensity, once you kind of figure out how, you get better at the mechanics, consistency, you start getting to that intensity measure, and you're really into that pain cave. If you never been in the pain cave, it's where the endorphins in your brain, the dopamine is shooting off, and you really can't hear anything outside your ears, and you just focus on what you're doing. And that's the addictive part for me. When it's like kind of like a runner's high. People who run get into a runner's high, very similar. It becomes addictive because I'll sit there and want to feel that feeling, and the only way to get to that feeling is to push hard.
Okay, well, actually, let's step back a minute and let's talk about what intensity is, because intensity for you is not the same as, for example, the brand new athlete I had who did fundamentals today, learned some deadlifts, learned some kettlebell swings, did some jumping for the first time. So just in learning that movement and getting to use a training bar with a little bit of weight, she was breathing harder. She was sweating because this is something she's never done before. And moving on to those kettlebell swings, we got that heart rate up, even though it was a very light kettlebell. And then both the act of jumping onto a surface, and we had her jumping to a plate, just that smaller jump really spiked the heart rate, because you've got some anxiety there, some fear, which is pushing that heart rate up. And then she did a nice hinge. She got the jump all the way to the plate, stood up, and you can just see the excitement. So that translates. So all of that's fun. All of that translates to intensity. So not all of us need to be swinging around like a monkey, half blind, half deaf, can't see what's going on, looking like Mertz in order to achieve intensity. Intensity is just something harder.
Well, we used the word
previously. Relative.
Relative intensity. So the workout, when we have a stimulus for the workout, we all want to be within that few reps or a few minutes of the best to the newer people, right? So everybody was kind of finished the same tip of intensity, should be roughly the same. I think kind of the difference here and with my experience, because coming from an athletic background, doing a lot of sports, getting into CrossFit, I already kind of knew how to use my body in space. So then I was able to go through these measurements of mechanics, consistency, then intensity pretty fast. That's not everybody can do that, but they are feeling relative the same feeling I'm feeling.
Right. That stimulus that you're getting, they're still getting because they're starting at a different level.
Yeah.
It's something new. And that, I think, new is a big contributor there.
New.
CrossFit can be addicting because it's always something new.
You serious?
We're not doing the same thing at any point. We might do Fran, right, or Nancy once and then do it 3 months later. So you're doing something again, but you're probably doing it with a higher intensity because we've been working towards increasing that intensity over that several months before you test it again. We might take movements that are brand new to some athletes, the brand new athlete I had this morning in fundamentals, or it might be a movement that you know and love. So maybe it's squat cleans and you haven't done 20 squat cleans into 20 muscle ups
Ooh, that
into
sounds like a good workout.
a 2,000-meter row.
Let's
No,
do
that's
it.
not a suggestion,
That's a really good
Castro.
workout.
That's not a suggestion for Thursday. But if you've never put those three movements together in that volume, right, and had no rest in the workout for, say, 24 minutes, 27 minutes, that might be an AMRAP that is brand new to you, pushes that intensity. No matter how many times we've even seen the movements, that workout that day is probably brand new. It's not
Yeah,
something that is boring. You're not just coming in on a treadmill. You're not going running outside by yourself, right?
well, I mean, like you program, I would say what 90 to 95% of workouts are not the same.
Correct.
And there's with all the different movements that we have and all different ways we could program like an EMOM or a interval training or an AMRAP. It would be safe to say it would be hard for, like, if you give me a sheet of paper and write out 100 workouts and you get a sheet of paper and write out 100 workouts, we might not get one the same.
Not even
It's
close.
like, think of like poker. There's like a trillion different ways to have cards come out of a poker, out of a deck of cards, and there's probably very similar to that with the CrossFit workouts. I mean, it's very with that variance, it feels like something new every day.
Well, and because
Yeah.
we're constantly also adding new movements, like movements that traditionally might not be done in a workout. The first time I put gorilla rows in a timed WOD, people were like, "What? What are we doing?" I'm like, "That's right, we're doing gorilla
You
rows."
ever heard about my the movement that I made? It was called the crazy gorilla row.
No, what'd you do to the gorilla, Mertz? Were there actual animals hurt
No,
in the creation of this movement?
No. But it's essentially the same thing. 2 kettlebells, you go into a sumo stance, and you do a burpee to them. So you go down, chest to the pike back, chest to the kettlebells,
Okay.
go into a
Follow.
burpee, come up, and then you go into a deadlift, back to the ground, and then pull both kettlebells off the ground. And then you go back to the burpee.
Okay.
I really like that one because it really toasts the hip flexors and that lower back.
X7
Yeah.
athletes
Easy
trying
gorilla
this
row.
upcoming
It's really
workout.
fun.
Actually
It's one of
sounds
those ones like you would do like maybe 5 to 10 of, you don't push, it's like a devil's press almost. You don't do
I
like
think
30 of
7
them.
is a good number.
7's always a good number,
It's a
right?
perfect number of almost everything,
Yeah.
a multiple of stuff.
Yeah. So, with that being said, the benefits, right, as we go through this intensity, as we're able to build up to this intensity and really put ourselves into that stimulus and really get into that hard part of the workout, right? Because we always can tell, right? It's always around that 3 to 5 minute marker on a workout when you see people start to struggle, and then their body kind of takes over.
Getting out of that glycolytic pathway, switching into the oxidative pathway, and stuff gets just a little bit more difficult because that fast energy is used up. We're moving into a different, a different kind of energy or a different mode of energy that's not as quick. So yeah, you start to slow down. You can't keep that same level of intensity the whole time.
Well, and I think a big part of that is that after about 3 to 5 minutes of doing maybe 2 to 3 movements already, and you get into maybe that second round of whatever it is you're doing, your body's acclimating itself to those movements, and you kind of start to get, you kind of, that's where going to that pain cave starts to kind of happen, right? That kind of explained. That's when those endorphins start to kick in, dopamine starts to kick in.
Dopamine.
And just kind of ride that lightning all the way through.
Man, I'll be honest, my dopamine kicks in at the end when it's like, you're done. I'm like, yeah.
Isn't that the best part, though?
We're finished.
The reward basis of finishing a workout is so strong. You accomplished something. You finished it. It doesn't matter whether you came in first or last. You finished it. And
It's a high.
It's a huge high.
It's a huge high. And I think any kind of high, whether it's that high or a runner's high, is addictive. I used to run 5, 7, 10 miles a day.
Put it right here.
Check that run right in the arm, because you get to that runner's high. And it didn't matter that later on that evening I wasn't going to be able to walk. It's just that feeling when you get that runner's high, you can just go forever, and the birds are singing, you can jam into that music. Yeah. So that in and of itself is addictive. But then at the end, if you've accomplished something new, right, you got that PR, especially in the CrossFit gym. You're walking over, you're ringing that
Yeah,
bell.
isn't
We've
it
got our
awesome?
silver bell on the wall over there. We're constantly having athletes ring that bell because they're accomplishing something or learning something and doing something they've never done before. And that in itself, that reward
Yeah.
is very addictive. That's
Oh,
huge.
I think, right, right. So remember your first like 6 months to a year, how many times you ring that bell, and then that bell starts to get a little bit further
It's
away
been
in
a
time point,
while
right?
now. Yeah.
So it's like, take those advantages, right? So when you have a chance to PR and you were able to put the PR next to your name, go ring that bell, because there will be a time, 2 years, if you've been doing this for 2 years, they become long stints between those PRs. And that's just the nature
But it
of,
keeps you moving towards that. You've
sure.
rung that
Yeah.
bell in the past. You know you
Yeah.
can ring it again. There might, progress is not linear almost ever. It's
No,
it's
peaks and
peaks
valleys,
and valley. Couple
peaks
steps
and
forward,
valleys.
one step back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps
Yeah.
back. There's never a straight shot, right? Everybody has some sort of either a small setback or we have to go back and scale something. There's a reason why you don't
Oh,
go straight to the bell every single time you
last
learn
night,
something.
you know what? I'm sorry, Ashley B. We did not ring the bell for you yesterday. I
Oh.
should have mentioned it, but she PR her squat clean. She did 100 pounds.
Oh my God, Ashley.
Yeah.
Late
And,
celebration
and,
there. That's fantastic.
and I had to give her the little push she needed. She was like, "Ooh, I don't think I could do any heavier." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you
And
got this."
Ashley has got athletes who they just need that little, you can very clearly see the form is there. You can
Yeah.
very clearly see they've got the mechanics, they've consistently done it, and it looks really nice. And they just need that tiny little
Well, I think
push.
they're scared to fail. They're scared that they're not going to be able to get it up and finish the lift. Look, if you failed, that's awesome. You pushed your limit, right? Spencer was not Spencer, sorry. Carter was another one. He does look like Spencer from Best Hour, though, a little bit, right? Maybe a
Really?
little.
Yeah.
A little bit. Anyway, but Carter yesterday, right? He had that. He went to go do his clean, and he got it up to here, and he dropped it. I said, "Why didn't you?" I said, "I know exactly what's going on." I asked him, "So what's going on in your brain when that happened?" And he's like, it felt heavy, like I couldn't do it." I'm like, "You got the bar to here. If you can get the bar to here, you can get under it." And with his form and with his dedication and the way he really is like kind of like a crazy scientist in the way he wants to move
Oh,
perfectly,
yeah.
right?
Well, he's very coachable. He wants to be
Yes,
able to do it perfectly every time. So
correct.
he will take every cue. He's in here.
Yeah,
Okay, how did that look? What do I need to do better? Yeah,
yeah. And
fantastic.
I said, "Look, if you get it to here, just you can do it.
Drop.
Just gotta get
Just
underneath it.
drop.
Just drop and get underneath it." And boom, he got it. And just had to get
Oh,
over that little bit of trust. He had to trust himself. That trust, sometimes when the bar gets heavy, we get into our heads like, "Ooh, I don't know if I could do this." You got to have that little trust.
well, and I think it's because once we think something's too hard, we decide that going in, and it might just be another 2.5
Yeah.
pounds. And I have that myself. You're like, this is great. It's looking beautiful. We're rolling along. We add 2.5s on either side, and boom, I couldn't get onto that bar to save my life. Maybe to save yours, maybe not.
And that happens, right?
Right.
And that happens.
Yeah, it definitely happens. But I think that part of the addiction there is also having a coach in there pushing you to do it,
Yeah.
helping you get better. You're addicted to someone giving you the guidance you need and consistently getting you in a positive direction. Even when you miss, even when you fail that lift, that coach is like, this is what we need to do for next time. These are some things we need to concentrate on. Here's a cue to remember. Whatever the coach tells you, it's great having that feedback. Like, yeah, somebody's here with me. It's addictive to have that support.
It is.
Right?
It is. And going in the community, right? So being with other people, especially when you get lift days, strength days are awesome because you can really kind of really get that kind of going, get everybody kind of talking each other up. You can, when somebody completes when you got like a majority of the people that have finished their lift and the other person's over there like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I can do this.
Screaming,
And we're
yes,
all
you
like,
can,
come on, you can do it.
clapping, right.
And that's addictive part of it is being in that community, a supportive community that helps push you to do that lift. And then and when you complete that lift and everybody's cheering, that's addictive.
Right. So you're on that rower, you're on that kettlebell swing, you're doing those doubles and you keep missing, but you got the whole class screaming at you, no, pick it back up, keep going, keep going. You got 2 minutes left. Let's finish this.
Yeah.
Right there, having that team, everybody's cheering for you, right? Nobody's walking out the door. Nobody's putting their stuff away. They're in it to win it with you.
So I have a question for you on that then. All right. We're doing a rounds for time, right? You're completing, you're doing an RX. It's a little bit outside your comfort zone. Everybody else kind of finishes before you. You have, let's say burpees to end, right?
Perfect.
Right? You got
I
burpees to
got this.
end, you're struggling, you're dying, right? And everybody's done, and everybody's kind of watching you. And then you start seeing people kind of cheering you on, trying to get you to keep moving. And then you have one person come through and says, I'm gonna do burpees with you. Do you like to see people kind of help you out by doing the movement, like running, go out there, finish a run with you, or things like that?
Yes.
Do you like that?
I think for me, part of it is, yeah, get your extra fitness in, man. No, but part of it is, yes, it's that having somebody work with you. They're down there. They're like, all
Yeah.
right, you're suffering. I'm going to suffer with you. We're going to help you finish it. Sometimes you need that extra person walking in, giving you a hand by just doing the same thing,
Well,
right?
and I asked was like to play devil's advocate on that. Not that I'm one way or the other about it. It really doesn't matter to me. If you want to come and drop down, do burpees with me, you're more than welcome. Like, there are people that, that are quote unquote last in the workout, and the last thing they want is encouragement like that. And that could be, I'm just asking a question. I think,
I think that comes down to a couple of things. I don't know that everybody's like that. That a person who is like that all the time. I think it might have to do with what's going on with their day, what's going on in their life, and maybe they just want to bust this workout out. They don't want to talk to anybody, and that's okay
yeah,
sometimes. I mean, that's definitely something where you come in, you're just here to get that stress out, and maybe you don't want to talk to anybody till next class. I think that's very a viable point. I don't necessarily see people hang on to that mindset or that attitude for very long, right? Even if they start out like that,
yeah.
and a couple classes, I don't want any cheering, I don't want any, sooner or later, right, the positivity of the class really starts to bleed into your own
And I
mindset.
think that goes into like pushing them outside their comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
You're coming in, first you have this, you probably don't, maybe you don't know many people in your class, and here's this person who's just dropping down doing burpees with you, and you're like, I feel embarrassed by this.
Yeah.
I'm last. And we try to encourage people that just because you're last doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It just means
it means you're getting the most encouragement. It means we're there for you. I'd almost rather be last than first, because I still got people screaming at me when I'm last. They're like, go. You're first. You're like, everybody else is just breathing hard. You only got the coach.
Well, this is a prime example of that for me, right? So, beach brawl teams workout, and it was one of these waterfall workouts. One person went did three different movements, came across the line, touched. The next person goes, does it, right? And I was, the better guy on the team, and they're like, Mertz, you're going last. I'm like, thank you, because we weren't that good of a team, and I knew that whoever's going to be last is going to be the last one in that wave, just finishing the workout before the time cap or whatnot. And I'm like, thanks, guys. All right. But, at that point, I was like, I'll go last, because the reason why they asked me to do that, they know I can handle that. They might not want to be in that position where they're being cheered on by a bunch of people being last. I'm okay with that. If we all want to go, and look, what I'll do is actually, I'm going to destroy that workout because of that. I want to see everybody watching me go as hard as I can. And that's what it's all about.
We gotta censor you. I swear. We need like a jar or a mug, maybe a bucket, like a swear bucket. It'll be great. We're gonna raise a lot of funds that way. No, I think too, like, speaking of the comfort zone itself is uncomfortable. If you're keeping yourself from doing something because it's uncomfortable, because it might be hard, because it might be weird, it's just as uncomfortable staying in that zone of not doing it, not experiencing something new or taking that first step, because now you're uncomfortable with the fact that you haven't moved forward. You're not doing something you've dreamed of or that you see everybody else doing and being able to do. You're stuck. So we talk about comfort zone, and I think we need to rename it the discomfort zone.
Okay.
The only reason I think you could call it comfortable is it's a known, right? It's not the unknown. It's not the unknowable. It's the knowable, the known place that you sit where you make no progress.
Yeah.
You're comfortable being uncomfortable. So let's call it the uncomfortable zone. And you wish you could do something else or be somewhere else or look a different way, have different capabilities, but you're so comfortable being uncomfortable here, and you don't want to take the risk or that extra step of being a little more uncomfortable to start something new. And I think the thing that CrossFit does is you've got a group of people, you've got a place to go. You can call it a safe zone, if you will, because you're walking in, and as coaches, I know you're probably uncomfortable your first day, but you walked in the door And so I'm cheering the fact that you walked in the door on your first day. You just did something you've never, that by itself, let's ring the bell. That's a PR.
Ring the bell,
That's
open
right,
door.
right? So you got to realize that outside that uncomfortable zone, when you walk into this gym, we're here to make you comfortable with the fact that you're going to do something different and new. We're here to guide you into it. And I think once people find that and you realize, well, these folks aren't here to judge me. I'm not working out by myself. No one's staring at me like I'm a weirdo, because we're all weirdos here, right? Let's be blunt. I mean, especially Mertz. He's the weirdest of us all. I say that with love, lots of love. Nobody is quote unquote normal. I think that myth, that ship needs to just pass off into the night. There is no perfect athlete. There is no normal person. We all have our quirks. We're all weird in some form or fashion. And the CrossFit gym, there are so many kinds of different people. There's not just a variety of movements and a variety of workout. There's a variety of people.
Sure.
And everybody's here for the same reason. They want to get better. They want to get outside their comfort zone. They want to improve their lives in one way. Maybe it's physically, mentally, socially, because we're forming new friends, a new community. So CrossFit is a way to push yourself outside of the comfort zone with help. It's a way to keep pushing yourself, but feeling better and more comfortable doing it because you've got that support.
And that puts you outside the doors really. So think about it like this. Would you be a CrossFit owner right now if you didn't go through that uncomfortable phase of CrossFit, right? To learn how to do these new movements, going through getting your L1, getting your L2, coaching classes, getting your L3, opening the doors to a new CrossFit gym, trying something new that you've never done before. But you're set up for success already because you've already dealt with the uncomfortable positions of an uncomfortable workout that is hard and intense.
I think part of it is you don't really give yourself time to think about it and talk yourself out of it. Once you sign up for CrossFit, right? You're just walking in the door. You walk in the door, you're here, you're stuck, you're not leaving. Sorry, you can't even get paroled out of today's workout, folks. So you don't have time to talk yourself out of it. You know, for me, I'd say it was more uncomfortable because I was forced into a CrossFit fundamentals, session against my will. But even then, I got through that, right? You push through that little uncomfortable step, and here you are. You're never going to improve or get somewhere you want to be by staying comfortable, whether it's a comfortable discomfort or just, I think I'm good. I'm good. Are you though? Are you really? Are you good until you find out you have a health condition? You're good until you find out you can't pick something up and carry it out of the garage, until you can't chase those grandkids or your dog out the door. How good are you? But you're good only until.
That was me. Like again, had knee issues before really joining a CrossFit gym, and having knee issues and not be able to climb a mountain with my buddies with knee pain. It's like I had to change.
Were you like walking with a stick and they go?
I didn't have them yet, and I wish I would. But with that being said, I can tell you, just the amount of names going through my head of the people that have come to CrossFit, done this for a decent amount of time, and have flourished outside in their business, whatever business they are, whether they're entrepreneurs or work in sales or work in different positions. And you can just see them start climbing that ladder of success outside the gym, because when you deal with the uncomfortable positions in here, dealing with again, going back to how, the biggest adaptation of CrossFit is between the ears.
Yeah,
it does. It makes you mentally stronger. So when you're outside these doors and dealing with whatever it is, things are easier. Then you
can stop thinking about things and overthinking things. 3, 2, 1, go. If you get used to that 3, 2, 1, go in every class for every WOD, use that outside of the gym. Man, I got to do that. No, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. I got to apply for 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, it's like a problem. You become an expert problem solver, because whether you're dealing with finances or dealing with relationships or dealing with whatever it is you're dealing in the outside world, nothing was as hard as that workout you did yesterday.
Right. And it makes taking that first step on anything easier.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, you just go, right? It's like, all right,
I think that's it. We do hard things in here so you can do hard things out in the rest of the world and the rest of your life. The difference being the hard things that we do are actually fun. Yeah. People walk in, I can't lift that, but then you teach them how to do it and they can do it. That's fun. Right? Oh, there's a tire. I can't flip that, but I teach you how to flip a tire. We work up to being able to flip that tire. You can flip. Oh, that's fun. So the hard things you do in here are fun. They create that grit, right? That
A little bit
ability
of
to
grit.
do less fun things everywhere else. But if you can do the stuff we do in here, you can do almost anything.
Oh, it's like, yeah, getting outside the doors and everything's a challenge at that point, right? Like you get outside the doors and whether you're like, look, Mardi Gras, you're carrying all these beads, right? We're doing this for time. I'm gonna get these back to the vehicle as fast as I can. Carrying them both as hard, just the traffic better stop when I cross that street because I'm
Right,
just
we're
gonna
going.
plow.
Boom,
I'm going. Right?
boom.
So,
You can dodge a wrench. Oh,
you- yeah. So things become a challenge outside the gym. You start looking at things in a mannerism that, again, going back, you did something physically hard, mentally hard in here. You get outside the gym. Going to weed the garden, going to do whatever it is outside the gym, it becomes something easy. Just like you said, 3, 2, 1, go. You just go, get after it. You get done. You feel accomplished. You're starting a new business. Yeah, you get going, right. It's those first few months
oh yeah.
and when those months are over and you finish
It's
getting
like
your gym.
constant burpees. Starting a new business is like burpees all day, every day, nonstop AMRAP for several months.
Yes. Yeah.
That's exactly where you're
Yeah,
at.
I think that's the hardest thing is once you get the gym accomplished, you get the equipment going, you get the business, you open the doors, and then you're like, okay, what? I was physically doing all these things, and all the physical work is done, and now you're like, okay,
Mental work.
now the mental work
back
comes
of the
in,
house,
right?
the admin.
Yeah,
But if you come in every day and you do some deadlifts or some tire flips or some pull-ups or some kettlebell swings, you do that all in one setting and you get done and you're like, man, I can't believe I lived through that. Bring on that desk work. We're here.
Yeah,
We got this.
let's go.
We can do
Let's
it.
go. Yeah, that's what makes it addictive to me too, right? Is knowing that I can get outside these doors and really accomplish anything I set my mind to. I mean, we that's such a cliche thing to say, but it's 100% true.
And I think I'm never sorry I did it. It's addictive because I might drag myself in the door. Man, I'm tired. I didn't sleep great. I didn't go grocery shopping, so I didn't have a good breakfast. I don't know if I should be here. But then you get done with that workout because the coach pushed you, because everybody else in the class pushed you. It's addictive at the end because you're addicted to being glad you did it, even though you didn't think you could.
And one final point with that, when you fail on that lift, when you fail on the workout, when you do these failures inside here and you fail outside the gym, it's just a learning lesson. You just learn. You learn.
Next time we're going to do it better.
Next time you do it better. It's 100%.
Awesome.
That's what
Have I told you today I'm green with envy about your shirt?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm Coach Tanya.
And I'm Coach Mertz.
Please like, share, and follow. This is the Affiliate Soapbox.
Yeah. Oh, we got the Open finishing up this week.
Yes, we do have the Open finishing.
Last workout of this
Talk about
year.
doing hard things.
I can't wait to see what it is. We have it. He always has thrusters. This a year he does not do thrusters.
No,
we
had wall balls.
We haven't seen burpees.
We haven't seen burpees. Specifically didn't program burpees this week because I'm suspicious.
15.5, which was a descending ladder. I wanted to say it was 28, 21, 17, 15, some kind of format like that of thrusters and burpees to get to like 3 of each, right? So it's a lot. And that one was historic because that was the one where he had no time cap, right? Where people literally, in the middle of the workout, quit on it, went home for a few hours, or came back the next day and finished it up. And it would have like a 24-hour finish time.
Yeah, maybe burpees, maybe wall walks.
Does he do that
we
one again?
haven't seen wall walks in the Open yet. So, I think wall walks might be a contender.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not asking for that.
It's got to be a barbell.
Dave, I'm thinking you might do it, but it doesn't mean I'm suggesting it.
It's got to be a barbell. So, and maybe it's not thrusters, maybe it's cleans.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
Cleans and burpees.
We'll see.
All right, let's
I
go.
like cleans and burpees.
Cleans and burpees.